Hey, healthy heroes! Welcome to one of the most climactic battles of the Alliance Crossroads National Event of 2023.
So the guy who's sauntering forwards?
Yeah. A large army of orcs and goblins and lizards and who knows what else make themselves known, and the battlefield organization starts. We gotta identify the goal, we gotta organize our allies. We need a sword that the general of this army has. He's making a monologue about it, so I'm glaring at him and I pace back and forth, deciding on how I'll be swinging around to their backs.
Which sword is it?
I think the black one.
Where's Darth? What's his name? Droth? Where is he? There he is.
But first, I have to check in with the player who received a vision about this bad guy and that item we need to steal from him. I love when there is some degree of confusion on a battlefield, such that we have to be actively role-playing in high-stakes situations.
So this is not like your vision? It's not on his hip?
That's not the sword. No.
Is that the general?
That's the general.
That's the general, but he doesn't have a sword?
No.
So the future vision you saw is not what's happening here?
No, it's not the same sword. Yeah, it's not the same sword.
Not the same sword, but yes, the same guy?
I saw him in that other vision, and there he had the sword too.
So where is it now?
I don't know, maybe they're not using it.
Nikujo's getting really tense about it. That's a lot of uncertainty for us.
I mean, you did make a deal with the Fae, didn't you? Look, I understand that you made a deal with the Fae to get it, to take the Fae out with you. You can't hide that from me if you're trying to pull something.
And the general himself is stomping through our area.
So you don't have the sword on you?
No.
So there's a lot of tension there. Now, note how the general here is accompanied by a guy in a white headband. That is a rules marshal.
Is this 10 feet?
And a common strategy at LARP to help out big bads with all of the players and effects that inevitably will be pillow partying them. This rules marshal can do things like checking the range for the area of effects for us and monitoring all those calls.
I want to leave too! Just let us go!
Now, honestly, I don't really like the slow and hoochin', like toe-to-toe big bad fights as much as I like roguing and running around. And since there is some in-game confusion here about whether or not the general even has what we need on him right now, I decide I'm getting out of Dodge. I'm gonna go scout around. I almost chased down a runner here, since that is my favorite thing to do.
Weapon strike slow.
10 silver, 10 silver.
But
Kill it.
I leave the kill to those who were previously engaged, so as to be honorable about
Appreciate
their
the runners, though.
hunt.
That's fun.
Battlefield culture. I see the masses here are trying to fend off the army to keep the general isolated, but I'm still making sense of the bigger picture and the bigger goal.
So the sword's not on the general like it was in the vision?
It's not.
So where is it?
It's on his hip.
Are we tricked? Is this a trap?
I love those moments of battlefield discussion and heated in-game roleplay. I see an enemy starting a killing blow just far enough away to make a fun sprint in to save them, so I go for it. I go ahead and trip over my own feet on backpedal there. But this community is so awesome. Everyone in the immediate area knows to take a quick little breather, keep everyone safe. After a little trip like that, I hop right back up, we're good to go. The reindeer does sweep in to make the kill here, but Nikujo has a hard time not wanting to eat kin, even when they are allies, so she restrains herself and she steps back. The story roleplay tension of this battle is making it hard for me to pick my strategic focus here, too. I'm not convinced that we're even engaging in the wisest way. I mill about a little bit, pull myself back.
The general doesn't have the sword on his hip like he did in the vision, so we're either being tricked or it's hidden somewhere else. We need to look for that sword.
Now, aside from keeping the general isolated away from his army, this is not a very organized fight. There are no real front lines, and the enemies are scattered. There's tons of mobility in this big field. Honestly, that's my favorite style with this character. I love the combination of roleplay and battle strategy, the tense interplay here. Tab calls a timeout to clarify some in-game description about the size of the army on the battlefield. I take advantage of this timeout to get some clarification about the prop. This is a normal and okay thing to have happen at LARP. If you are ever uncertain about a physical description or a prop or another immersive concern, just ask the staff. We're telling fantasy stories and we're suspending our disbelief in all sorts of ways, so just get the info out of game when you need it to make the roleplay more fun and to make the scene make sense.
Out-of-game clarification for prop purposes, we don't see the same sword we saw in the vision.
You saw the same sword.
We did see the same sword?
It is the same sword.
The sword in the vision is a particular non-combat weapon, so...
It is the same sword.
Sorry, I've been running around telling people we're being tricked.
That's the same sword.
Okay, I'll just say that Dorth saw it from a different angle. It's the same sword. I will clarify that for everyone I've yelled at. Now I just get to fight things without looking for a sword. All right.
3, 2, 1.
Hang on. Roland. It is the same sword. They saw it from the wrong angle, but it's definitely up there, so we're in the right place. Oh my word.
I do love a good no to an enemy who's acting like a really big deal. So I decide it's time to swing around on these two giant orcs. But wait, it's 3. That is a trio of some high stats, so I do need to back off, I realize. Their 20s take away my armor in 3 hits.
You're good.
100 normal,
20 normal.
So I found a good strong battle to engage with, but I have to be smart about it. Thankfully, I have a fancy item that gives me fast refits. So I step behind an ally for 3 seconds and I'm back into that business.
10 silver, 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 100 silver, 100 silver!
I'm definitely getting excited about these huge orcs. But I remember from earlier in the day, if you do a killing blow on a big guy, it'll hit you with a vengeance, which is like a huge explosion when they die. So as much as I wanted to eat these hearts, I had to leave them be.
20 silver, 20 silver, 10 silver, 10 silver, 10 silver.
Where's the strike break?
Where's that thing? Killing blow, what? Oh, nope, not those stinky ones. No, not the stinky ones. Do you smell like the ooze that exploded earlier? Not the stinky ones.
I was vengeanced earlier in the day by one of those. So here's some quick news.
We have the sword? Do we leave now? And we leave now?
We got it. Once the objective is complete, I am ready to immediately move on.
We have the sword, we can leave.
But I see Tyrion got caught up a bit, and I know he will absolutely give me a perfectly positioned back of an enemy, so turn around and drop that guy on the way out.
20 silver, 20 silver, 20 silver.
You do need to often make a fighting retreat at LARP.
We have the sword, we can pull back.
Conveying information, having all your allies know what the objective is.
We have the sword, we can pull back. We have the sword, we can pull back. We have the sword, we can pull back.
Because some people will just be battling without that roleplay story in mind, depending on their character or depending on, you know, what they decide to think about when they're playing this game. But the character Nakujo here is conveying information with that survivalist urge. She tends to be very intentional and very focused on what the objective is, get it done and get out.
I don't know that we have any other objective. They have a whole army back there. I don't know if you see the phalanx shield wall that's stopping us from going further, but it's not like we're going to kill this entire army. We have the sword, we can leave. We're not going to kill this entire army. Do you see those guys out there?
Conclude and succeed in your hunt and then keep yourself alive and keep moving.
Gabriel!
So she's getting pretty frustrated with folks still messing around.
Tyrion and Gabriel, why are you not pulling back? We have the sword. There's an entire army
But Tyrion
out there.
engages roleplay here a step ahead and says, maybe we do need to stick around?
And so they'll move with you if you move away and yell at them.
How's the army going to leave us alone if we just retreat?
Okay, good. Next question.
That's a fair point.
What will make this entire army leave us alone then? Okay, short of that.
But again, that's one of my favorite immersion aspects of a LARP battlefield, when the objective and strategy isn't 100% clear, and you need to roleplay during combat to make some tense decisions. It's so much fun and so much adrenaline.
I need a perimeter around us.
I hear a Black Forest team member requiring a perimeter defense around some important happenings. I'm not even sure what they are, but I know Black Forest is a strategic and organized team, so I hop in to take that role. I assume they are working on something that will solidify our escape route or our exit options. I see a line of enemies encroaching, and I take a center spot. Knowing that I'm defending something behind me, I'm not going to sweep around as much. I'm not going to flank.
If you're drunk, get off the front line. I pick you up and throw you. I don't have an endow, you probably roll ungracefully.
Time to start role-playing with the enemies.
10 silver, 10 silver.
Maybe if I intimidate them enough, that'll be our ticket out of here.
Your army needs to leave. We've killed your general. Your general is dead. Your army needs to leave. 10 silver. You might want to go tell all your buddies that your general is dead. And your army needs to leave. 10 down. Accept. Your general is dead and you should leave.
The more you roleplay on a battlefield, the more confident you get with it. I pull back to check on that point I was defending. I realize they're surrounding the dead general, so it all seems good there.
Your general is dead! You can go ahead and leave now!
So the more frustrated she gets, she just starts screaming at all the NPCs. I end up sassing the big orcs on the other side of the field now, and this NPC is India, who's one of the plot writers. She is all about battlefield sass. Oh, it's time for some of my favorite taunting here. Look at her step back, so the other two giant orcs are blocking me from her, right as she makes my blood boil. Oh, India, I loved that.
What are you, 5s? 25s! I got 2 of those then. 10 silver, 10 silver. 10 silver. 25.
Now I want to clear those guys away just to get to her, because she made cat jokes. Unacceptable for a gore.
10 silver, 10 silver. 10 silver, 10 silver, 10 silver. 10 silver, 10 silver, 20 silver, 20 silver, 100 silver, 100 silver, 100 silver.
Here, India, have some of my big offensive skills.
India, I put 4 100s in your back. Okay.
She just parries and dodges them, so I am definitely on the ropes.
10 silver. Are you clarifying? Sorry. Do your rules thing.
200 normal.
They are swinging hard. Someone offers Nakujo some super quick healing, thank you. I have to step back for my fast refit. And now I have the opportunity to pick a more strategic engagement point for these giant orcs that are offending me so badly. In case you missed it, the smoke line here, that prop is indicative of a shield wall of an orc army so thick that we can't pass it.
Smoke line! Smoke line! Smoke line!
So, you know, all the players out of game are aware of the context
10 silver.
and the setting and the props.
10 silver.
Now, I wasn't the only one damaging her, and I might not have even been the one to land the blow that dropped her, but I am going to mess with her because she offended Nakujo. Oh, by the way, a pickup should be a 3 count to move a body. My mistake. I thought it was instant.
Killing blow 1, killing blow 2, killing blow 3 silver. Ah, dip.
And my blood was so boiling that I forgot about the vengeance. Freaking embarrassing. I just wanted to bury her heart, man.
I'm unconscious for 1 minute. India. India! Sorry, when I wake up in a minute, is your body still there?
No.
Oh, does it like dissipate?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't dig for a heart to bury because it's gone? Okay, I'll wake up in a minute.
At least an ally stabilizes me. So I'm just sitting there unconscious. I don't even get my trophy or my heart or the flesh of my enemy. Pretty big bummer for Nakujo. A healer comes over to check on her since they see that she's down, but they didn't see what happened. Thank you, healers.
No. Unconscious, if that's the same as sleeping. If I'm at 1, I'm down 65.
She wakes up angry. She's embarrassed and offended.
Reset complete.
Oh my god, tell me buddy, are you down?
25.
Alright, I call upon her for grant 20 healing.
Accept.
Spell 5 healing.
Thank you.
Quick cultural
you
interaction.
don't like coin,
Gonna
do
make
you?
sure I'm not indebted to a healer.
I have
Hold on to it.
I have other things. Are these of any value to you? There you go. I don't want to owe you anything, okay?
So there may be some sort of out-of-game or behind-the-scenes trigger for what stops the waves from spawning, but that's not something I know about in-game or even out-of-game. As a plot writer, I know we sometimes say things like 5 lives or, X amount of time or until X thing happens. But when you're PCing, it's anyone's guess for how to survive and defeat a battlefield like this, like what's the win condition. The roleplay continues to evolve as we figure out how we're going to disengage now that we have met our
My only other
objective.
thought is that if we kill enough of them, they'll lose their morale and run away. If we start yelling at them that their general's dead, your general is dead! Your army can leave!
Now, I might not have achieved the glorious, threatening action I wanted to with that big orc who vengeanced me, but I'm going to make some sort of statement to some of these monsters.
I dig in your heart 1. I dig open your chest 2. I dig open your chest 3. Do you have a heart like regular? Yeah. You dig a hole in the ground 1. Dig a hole in the ground 2. Dig a hole in the ground 3.
This was very satisfying for her.
Bury your heart 1.
Had to make a big scene with the whole army watching.
Kick your corpse.
In-character sass is the best. Thank you, NPCs.
I don't know if this whole army understands, but that's the fate of anyone who tries to fight us. The general's dead. Let's go. We have 2 what? Were they both in the vision?
Apparently we need 2. We have 2.
This vision has not been very well understood.
No.
Which is pretty frustrating when there's a whole army backing it up.
So I have that guy's.
And I had the main general.
Where's Droth?
We will get them all in there!
Yeah, you go ahead and run!
What an awesome battle for us to find the relic, defeat an enemy, make a plan to get out of this Fey world. So much to figure out in such high-stakes and tense situations. I love the combination of combat and story with roleplay and battle strategy. When the battle is obviously over, it's pretty common for the whole field to out-of-game thank the NPCs.
Yeah, we're gonna need some better answers than suddenly 2 swords. Like,
I don't know about that. I got a little bit more. 2 swords in the town. We have to do something with them. That's our next step to figure out.
so like the vision he had was just incomplete, and in regards to what else we needed, how do you know what else we need?
Regains is making it up as he goes along because we found 2 swords.
I'm gonna need you to actually give me information.
I just dig into people's heads whenever I get a chance.
So you dug into somebody's head and you found a little bit more information that it's now 2 swords, something in the tavern. All right.
Thank you, Alliance Crossroads. Thank you, NPCs. Come join the battle at alliancelarp.com.
Refits over here.
I don't need any. I totally recharged prowess a dodge that I forgot was from day 2. I don't get another one now. I just stretch for 10 minutes. I just stretch for... Huh?
Yeah, that's 1 minute. Yeah.
What takes 10?
Meditate. That's for skills like...
Not a meditate.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
Good to know.
It's so much
for the
better now,
Yes.
right?
I have a fresh day 3 card. I spent nothing day 3 yet. So I just stretched.
You just stretched? What did you...
I thought that I had spent a dodge in the tower, but I was like, oh, that was day 2. Now it's day 3.